Alright guys, I want to make a quick video over this homework right here, maybe to push you along in case you don't remember. Now, a lot of this was covered in the notes, but especially for the people that weren't here, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, right? So, there is such thing as multiplicity. So multiplicity, I guess, let me go to one of these examples, like example 6, for example, right? So this is what we're saying about multiplicity. If I were to find the roots, okay, remember, to find the roots or the zeros of the function, I would have to set that equal to 0. Now, the nice thing about a problem like this is it's already factor for me. So now that it's already factor, I can actually set each factor equal to 0. All right, so I could set each factor equal to 0. Now, t minus, and this is where the multiplicity thing comes in, t minus 4 cubed, right, what actually means that I have t minus 4 times t minus 4 times t minus 4. Now, if I set each one of these equal to 0, I will get the exact same answer, all right, for each one of those. I would have t is equal to 4. So this is what we call a multiplicity of 3, because this, you're going to have the answer t is equal to 4 3 times. Okay? And now, on this one right here, we can multiply both sides times 1/10. You still get t squared is equal to 0. Now, about the only weird part that we perhaps wouldn't talk about if you were here on the notes is that t squared is equal to 0. That would literally means that you have t is equal to 0 twice. All right, so this is actually a multiplicity of 2. Or multiplicity of 2, meaning the same answer happens 2 times, okay? And then finally, similarly for t plus 5 squared, if I set each t plus 5 is equal to 0, I would have t is equal to negative 5 twice. So this is a multiplicity of 2. All right, so for you guys that were not here, or perhaps if you were here but don't remember, why is this relevant is because now when I graph it, remember, I have to first figure out the degree of the function, though they may not ask me for that, I don't know. But the degree of the function would be 2, 3, 2. So if I add all those powers together, I would end up with 7. Okay, so this is degree 7. And because this right here, the leading coefficient is positive, this is a degree 7 with a leading coefficient of a positive, I don't care that it's 1/10, I just care that it's positive, right? Which means that my end behavior would look left arm down, right one up. So no matter how I do this, by the time I graph it, my left arm better be down and my right arm better be up. Okay, so now to graph this, okay, we're gonna put the points, my roots, on the graph. So we have 0, let's see, we have 0, we have 4, we have negative 5. So let's say the negative 5 is right here, and let's say the positive 4 is right here. Now remember, my aim behavior is going to look like this, right? Left arm down, right arm up. So I'm going to start on the bottom left-hand side. Now, as I go through negative 5, remember, the multiplicity of 2 means that I'm going to bounce off the x-axis. Anytime you have a multiplicity that is an even number, it's either going to look like this or like this. Remember, the key word is bouncing off the x-axis. If I have a multiplicity of 3, right, it's going to look like this or like this, right? And that's the same if you have a multiplicity that's odd. So anytime you have multiplicity that's odd, it's going to look like that. And then finally, we already talked about multiplicity of 2, but it's going to look like this or like this, right? So since I'm starting on the bottom left, and I have a multiplicity of 2 at negative 5, I am going to bounce off that x-axis and back down, all right? Now, I'm going to go through 0, which is also, let's see, it's also a multiplicity of 2, meaning I'm going to bounce off this x-axis also. All right, and as I got to come back up. How do I know I got to come back up? Because my behavior has to look like that. As I go through there, as I go through 4, I have to make it look like one of these or one of these. All right, so notice that right here, I have a multiplicity of 3 again, and I have multiplicity of 2. both here and here. So that's how you do that, okay? Now, if I'm just looking at a problem, like say like number 5, and I'm asking you, oops, that disappeared. All right, and I'm just asking you what is, in this case, they use one of the roots, but let's say that they're asking for the equation, right? Notice that right here I'm crossing through -5. And notice by the shape, only by the shape, this is how we tell. The shape that looks like this, I know that x is equal to -5 has a multiplicity of 3. Okay? Now, as I look at 0, see 0 just crosses right through it, nothing special about that one, so this is just x is equal to 0, multiplicity of 1. Right, and then finally I go through 3, which has a multiplicity of 1 also, because it just goes right through it. Excuse me, multiplicity of 1. Okay? Now what else do they ask us to do here? State the degree of, okay, so the degree of the function, right? I know that it has to be an odd function because of the end behavior. The end behavior is left arm down, right arm up. So not only that, I know that the leading coefficient would be positive. So this would be degree. Now it has to be odd, but the multiplicity can also tell me what the degree of the function would be. This is degree 3, degree 1, degree 1. Add those together, you get degree 5. So this is a degree 5 function. Not given, sketch from, get the behavior. Okay, well that's it for that. It doesn't ask for this, again, it doesn't ask for this, but if I were writing an equation, I would have a y is equal to plus a just represents the leading coefficient, which at this point I don't know, but this would be an x plus 5 cubed. I don't know it's cubed because of multiplicity of 3. This x right here would just be x, and this right here would be x minus 3, like that. And of course, I'd probably write the x first, so I'd probably end up rewriting it like that. It doesn't ask you for this, but if it did, it wouldn't be that bad to actually do yourself. All right? Now, last but not least, for the people that perhaps miss, now this is a little bit backwards. Now, notice that they have a degree 6, all right? We have a triple zero at x is -2, which means that I would have this as x plus 2 cubed. A double zero at x is equal to 5. So x is equal to 5 would mean, by the way, I would go backwards in case you're wondering, how is he doing that? If I subtract 5 from both sides, this would be the factor, which means this is a factor that goes right here. Okay, so that's how I'm doing that. And since it says a double zero, I'm going to have a square right there. And then finally, we have a 0 at x is equal to 0. So if I grab that one, and I could write it as x minus 0 is equal to 0. But really, this is just the same thing as x. So I'm just going to write that as x. All right, so notice that I have degree 6, just to make double sure. This is 3, 2, 1. Add those powers, you get a power of 6, right? So now that you've done that, the next part that you have to do, right, is you have to find out what a is equal to. To find out what a is equal to, we're going to use this point. So plug in a 48 for y and a -3 for x. And then we're just going to do whatever's inside the parentheses, which in this case that would be -1 cubed, -8 squared, and this is -3 to the first power. Let me just check my work, make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Looks like I'm okay. Oh. Let's see here. Make double sure here, still checking. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we're good. So this would be a -1 cubed is -1, -8 squared is +64, and -3 to the first would be -3, right? So I would have to multiply all those together. Let's see. So that would make it a +3. So really, I just need to know what 3 times 64 is. So 192, so this would be 48 is equal to 192 times A. And that would divide both sides by 192, and then I would have to reduce that fraction. All right, so A would be equal to, let's see, it would at least be 16 over 64, which is also equal to 1 over 4. All right, so my final answer would be y is equal to 1/4 x plus 2 cubed x minus 5 squared times x, and that would be my answer. Well, hopefully that helped for you guys. If you have any other questions, let me know when I see you.